Number 218, Toast. Number 22, Tango de Muerte. Number 234, The Manipulator. Number 247, Dive Hard. Number 3, One Hit Wanda. Number 314, Gertrude Awakening. Number 428, Polly Avarice. Number 48, Micro Mauler. Number 55, Scarlet Osneria. Number 617 is Ginger Snap. 703, Kelfire Warrior. 739 is Goldman Smacks. 7734 is Hell Woods. Number 800, Bada Boom Box. Number 847 is Hello Sailor. And number 9, Shenanigans. Unholy Rollers are supported on the bench by Category, Just Alice, Skulls Be Crackin', Thrill Show, Ronnie Kickshins, Off Me Rocker, and Pegasus. Let's hear it for your Unholy Rollers!
All right, Madison. Let's welcome to the track Season 14 champions, the Quad Squad. Skating for the Quad Squad tonight, we've got 048 Tornado Alley. Oi, Aguda Riddance. 101, Quilla DeVille. Number 11, Elf. 111, Le Ernitas. 141, Hammer Abbey. Number 18, Alligator. 215, Booty Collins. Number 25, Tuna Faye. 273, Crystal Ice. Number 4, Mickey Barrage. Number 52, Sequin Destroy Her. 5388, Dark Horse. Coming back out of retirement, we got 69, Little Miss. Number 7, Wendy, You Wanna Die. Number 796, Conan the Librarian. Number 8, Kentucky Fried Carnage. Number 9, Canna Vendetta. 906, Super Yooper. And 918, Pied Typer. The Quad Squad are joined on the bench by Mac the Knife, Ironside, Hazer, and coming back for one night and one night only, that'd be Dame. Let's hear it for the Quad Squad!
And the Quad Squad trying to defend their leggy.
Big championship game for season 15.
Oh, so exciting. So that was Dolly Pardon Me and Darling Nikki giving you the intros for these teams. I'm Rich Mahogany.
I'm the Graham Reaver.
And we are here to talk some roller derby about
Roller
Yeah.
Derby.
With the words. The words that are so good. The best words.
The game with the wheels.
So
and the stuff.
we are here in the championship game for Madison Roller Derby's 15th season, deciding who is going to take home Leggy.
Leggy.
The leg of champions.
The leg of champions.
This leg designates the winner of Madison Roller Derby's home seasons. So right now, Reaver and I are the winners. We are defending Leggy.
We are.
But no, so we've got the Quad Squad who have won Leggy 3 years in a row. If they win tonight, it will be their quad win, which will be the first time that has happened in Madison Roller Derby history. On the other side of things, the Unholy Rollers are looking for their first take-home of Leggy since 2010. And it's been the only time that they've won Leggy.
It has been.
But hey, Reaver, we are into the action.
We are.
Quick lead jam going to Jinja Snap for the Unholy Rollers. Kenna Vendetta wears the star for the Quad Squad.
And Jinja Snap is back through and trying to score points at this point. Kenna Vendetta just getting her way through the pack, completing her initial pass, while Jinja completes a scoring pass, putting 4 points up for the Unholy Rollers.
Kenna Vendetta trying to get through on the inside, but is going to end up getting with some resistance from the manipulator. Now trying the outside, but Unholy's defense doing a great job of spreading out and coming back together, something they've been using to great effect all season long. Jinja Snap through for 4 more points.
And Kenna is still working to complete her first scoring pass. Meanwhile, Jinja is coming through the pack and about to complete, just completing her third scoring pass. That puts 12 points up for the Unholies, getting them off to an excellent start, Rich Mahogany.
Right, you are, Reaver. This is a great start of this game for the Unholies. The Unholies did meet up against the Quad Squad earlier in the season for the very first game, where they took a strong win over the Quad Squad. I believe it was about 300 to 180 some. So Unholies thus far undefeated in season 15. So definitely a favorite to win this game, but Quad Squad, this is actually a replay of the championship game that we saw back in 2018, where the Unholies were again favored to win over the Quad Squad, but they pulled out a last-minute win, taking that third in a row win for the Quad Squad.
Kenna Vendetta finally through the pack, having removed her helmet cover, but picked up 4 points before removing the cover. And 24 points in that jam for Jinja Snap and the Unholy Rollers. Talk about a big start, Rich Mahogany.
Absolutely. The Unholy Rollers coming out making a statement. We are here to play some roller derby, and we are going to play it hard. Going to try to make Quad Squad play their game. We'll see what happens as we get into this jam number 2. Looks like we're going to have Dark Horse on the line for the Quad Squad. Up against...
That looks like Gouda Riddance. No, Dark Horse for the Quad Squad.
That's right, Dark Horse out for the Quad Squad against Tango de Muerte for the Unholy Rollers. Tango just barely getting out first to take lead jam. Dark Horse riding her wake here as we approach the pack in turn 3.
She makes her way around the back and gets through, as well as Dark Horse. So they are matching point for point here.
And both jammers having gone through the pack and scored 4 points for their teams. Coming around for another scoring pass.
And Tango de Muerte nicely done on the outside, taking hits from all of the Quad Squad blockers, but not falling out. Will pick up 4 points for the Unholies.
Unholies, meanwhile, have stymied Dark Horse in the pack and prevented her from completing that scoring pass as Tango comes around for a third pass.
Dark Horse now being recycled on the outside, forced back behind Bada Boom Box. So both of these packs are, both the teams now settling down into turn 3. Tango de Muerte's forward momentum really being halted here. That's by Mickey Barrage, Elf, Kentucky Fried Carnage, and number 111, Lex Aeternitas. Oh, big hit. Gonna take Tango de Muerte to the floor on the turn 3-4 apex. back up, though, trying to get through on the outside as Dark Horse squeaks through on the in, picks up 4 points for the Quad Squad. So far, an 8-8 jam. Tango de Muerte going to call it off, does pick up 2 on that pass. So 3 on that pass. So it's going to be a grand total of 8 points for the Quad Squad to the Unholies 11, bringing our score to Quad Squad 12, Unholy Rollers 35.
All right, that was Urge giving a shout out to the Unholies, and they are ready. We've got Shenanigans.
I do want to give a shout out to Delta Beer Lab, expanding communities through quality local craft beer without barriers to gender, race, or sexual orientation. That is Delta Beer Lab.
Heading on down to the jammer line, it's going to be Hammer Abby running up the inside to take the first lead jam of the game for the Quad Squad. Over for the Unholy Rollers in red, it's going to be Shenanigans, still working on the initial. It's going to be absorbing a hit from Wendy You Wanna Die, and Secret Destroyer trying to take Guns to the outside, but Guns does get through. It is now eligible to score points.
Hammer Abby bringing that jam to the end, putting 4 points up for the Quad Squad, holding the Unholy scoreless for the first jam this game.
Well played there by the Quad Squad, winning that jam. Brings our score to Quad Squad 16, Unholy Rollers 35.
One of our sponsors, Terciop's Truncatus Studios, is a local Derby-owned independent game design team.
So as we line up for jam number 4, we see a single blocker in the box for the Unholy Rollers. And the Quad Squad at full strength as Quilla DeVille takes off from the line for the Quad Squad in the green. Gertrude Awakening, the jammer for the Unholies in the red. Gur through on the inside, takes lead jam for the Unholies. Quilla DeVille breaking through on the inside, but Hellfire Warrior able to get up in front of her. Holds her back long enough to allow the rest of the Unholies defense to get up there, but a track cut penalty on Quill will send her to the Crucible penalty box. Power jam Unholies.
Gertrude knocked to the inside and recycled to the back of the pack by Lil Miss. Still on a scoring pass. And of course, with the power jam, she does have the scoring advantage, and her team can play exclusively offense to help her get through and complete that pass.
That's right. Quad Squad doing everything they can to hold Gur back. Gur will break through, picks up 4 points, and calls off the jam. Quilla DeVille still in the box, so this will be a power start for the Unholies going into jam number 5. We're going to take a quick break here. You are watching Madison Roller Derby. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here watching the Unholy Rollers take on the Quad Squad for the Season 15 Championships of Madison Roller Derby. Getting into jam number 5 here, we are going to see, I believe that is Ginger Snap taking on Quilla DeVille. Ginger Snap in the power jam here as Quill starting from the penalty box.
And lead jam status goes to Ginger Snap as Quilla DeVille is released from the penalty box to begin her initial pass.
Ginger crashing through the Quad Squad defense to pick up those 4 extra points as Quill back on the track completes the initial pass herself. Is now eligible to score points as the pack picks up speed entering into turn 3.
Ginger Snap forced to the outside and recycled to the back of the pack. And Quilla DeVille through the pack for 4 points for the Quad Squad.
Alligator going to be sent to the Crucible penalty box for the Quad Squad right at the end of that jam. Going to be a total of 8-4 in favor of the Unholy Rollers.
Shout out to Terciop's Truncatus Studios, a locally Derby-owned independent game design team bringing you fun games and fun gifts for gamers in your life. Watch out for their upcoming Wreck 'em Up space opera, The Day We Fought Space, coming soon to a mobile device near you. And Rich Mahogany, I saw you checking out that game at halftime.
Oh, it's so cool. Terciops has a number of demo iPads out here. And the space beat 'em up is everything I dreamed it could be and more.
We now have Pied Typer taking lead jammer status for the Quad Squad. Tango de Muerte is jamming for the Unholy Rollers. Both jammers working on their scoring pass. Pied Typer into the back, making a quick call, putting up 1 point for the Quad Squad and shutting out the Unholies.
Quad Squad with only 2 blockers on the track for that jam will stay with only 2 thus far. So a 4-2 pack advantage for the Unholy Rollers as we get into jam number 7 here. Going to see Shenanigans wearing the star for the Unholy Rollers in the red. And that's going to be Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Quad Squad in the green. Guns trying to take the inside or the outside line. Great job there by Crystal Ice and Sequin Destroyer, keeping an eye on where she was going to be to stop her on the inside. Won't be able to keep her back forever, though, as Guns is through to take lead jam.
And we have both jammers coming up to the pack. Kenna Vendetta getting through on the inside line. Shenanigans getting held up in the pack towards the outside, having to work to fight her way through, decides to end the jam. No points for the Unholies on that. 4 for the Quad Squad.
Good jam there for the Quad Squad. Brings the score to Quad Squad 25, Unholies 47. So only 22 points separating these teams as we've got 20 minutes remaining to play in the first half.
Edge of seat, Rich Mahogany.
This is going to be such a good game. Both of these teams have just fought so hard. Unholies undefeated this season. Quad Squad only taking a single loss that first game of the season to the Unholies. Dark Horse flies up the inside line, does end up getting lead jam, but is forced to recycle back. Gertrude Awakening now through and eligible to score points. Dark Horse can't spend any more time on that jam, is going to be forced to call it off 0-0.
Huge shout out to our officials. You'll see the people in the orange shirts and black and white stripes doing everything they can to keep the game safe and completely recorded. In this game, we have Rex Support, Slamity Jane, Macromaniac, Brazzle Dazzle, Cordova, Jezebello Kitty, Gumby, Just Danny, Shownuff, Mr. Welch, and Rainbow Confection as our non-skating officials. We'll get to our referees in just a moment.
Hammer Abby flying off the jammer line up against Jinja Snap. Ham breaks through the defense, is able to get through. Oh, but picks up a track cut penalty on the way. So off to the Crucible penalty box she goes. Jinja Snap assessed lead jam and on a power jam. So now Unholy Rollers in a great opportunity to be able to play some offense here, trying to slow down the pack at the back here. As they stop, they can't let the skaters at the front of the pack get more than 20 feet away because that will destroy the pack, and then penalty whistles will sound. So Ginge now through on the inside, going to pick up 4 points for the Unholies.
Again, you see Hammer Abby being released from the Crucible penalty box and returning to the track after having completed her penalty service. Very quickly getting knocked to the inside.
So Unholy Rollers, their power jam strategy here seems to be only sending a single one of their blockers to play offense. In this case, it's been Toast, who has been playing some very effective offense here for Ginge. Oh, Ginge now picking up a track cut penalty of her own. Will send her to the Crucible penalty box. So power jam now for Hammer Abby. As Ginge was the lead jammer when she went to the penalty box, she will lose that lead jammer power. This jam will go the full 2 minutes.
The tables, as they say, have turned.
They are certainly rotating, Reaver. Spinning right round, baby,
like
right round.
Like a record baby?
Like a record baby, round, round,
Open
round.
up your derby arms. Watch out. Here we come.
So we can see Jinja Snap there standing in the box, indicating she has 10 seconds or left to serve on her penalty. She's released into the penalty or into the track right as 2 minutes is called for that jam. Unholy's able to win the jam with 12 points. Quad Squad, though, keeping it nice and close, picking up 8.
And it looks like just at the end of that jam, as the Unholy Rollers jammer Jinja Snap was released from the penalty box, Hammer Abby picked up another penalty and is now seated in the Crucible penalty box for a back block. So the Unholy Rollers are going to field Tango de Muerte in a power start.
Great opportunity here for the Unholies to start spreading out their lead here. Tango now only with 2 to beat at the front. That's Mickey Barrage and Lex Aeternitas. And Tango is through on the outside to take lead jam. So only about 20 seconds spent there, so they've still got about 10 seconds of power jam left to them. Unholy's gonna come up and gonna actually set up for Hammer Abby as she's now released from the Crucible penalty box. Coming in hot, forced to the outside though by the Rubarbarian. Oh, Mickey Barrage picks up a penalty, so off to the Crucible penalty box she goes. Quad Squad now at a diminished pack strength as Ham pushes through and completes her initial pass.
And Tango's going to end that jam after putting up a total of 8 points for the Unholy Rollers. Our score is now 33-67. We will be back in a moment.
Welcome back, friends. We are here into just about the first half of this game between the Quad Squad and the Unholy Rollers. It's been a rough and tumble game so far. Unholy's taken a lead so far, 67-33.
Quite a commanding lead, yes. And also, we've got a bit of a disparity in the penalty assessment. We've got about 7 penalties right now for the Quad Squad. Unholy Rollers only with 4. That could, of course, change. What has not helped is that 2 of those penalties for the Quad Squad have been jammer penalties.
All right, you are, Reaver. So keeping the jammer off the track for the Quad Squad has been a boon for the Unholies. Shenanigans out as lead jammer. Quilla DeVille out there jamming for the Quad Squad. Quad Squad skaters coming out and coalescing in front of Guns will force the call off. Guns only able to pick up 2 points on that pass before calling off the jam. Score now stands at Quad Squad 33, Unholy Rollers 69. Nice.
And there you see the penalty counts for each team. We are now at 9 penalties for the Quad Squad, 5 for the Unholy Rollers.
So for the uninitiated, perhaps forgetful, if you know some roller derby and forgot some, you can get 6 penalties in a game of roller derby. But once you get that 7th penalty, you are done playing for the game. That 7th penalty is a foul out. Getting back down to the action on the track, Pied Typer wearing the star for the Quad Squad in green up against Gertrude Awakening for the Unholies in red. And it's Gertrude Awakening through to take lead jam.
Pied Typer also complete with her initial pass, working her way back around to scoring position. While Gertrude makes her way through the pack and ends the jam before Pied can score any points. 4 more points for the Unholies, shutting out the Quad Squad.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of the sponsors here at Madison Roller Derby, Hinckley Design and Production. Thank you for Hinckley Design Productions, amazing commercial video production, live streaming video, kick-ass quality, coupled with top-notch talent. Rolling with MRD since 2008, Hinckley brings it to the track and beyond.
They bring it. It's true.
It's bringing you this broadcast as Jinja Snap goes out to jam against Dark Horse. Nice job there by KFC, taking Jinja Snap to the outside. However, she does take a step out herself, so Jinja's able to come right back in. Jins takes lead jam for the Unholies. However, Dark Horse has broken out and is now looking to score some points of her own. Oh, big collision there on Jinja Snap, getting a back block on Alligator. So now power jam for the Quad Squad. I believe this is going to be their 2nd power jam of the game.
I believe you're correct, Rich Mahogany.
Dark Horse going to be forced to the inn by Hello Sailor, wearing a golden tie out there. She actually skated 1 game already tonight, skated as a foster for the Reservoir Dolls as they took on the Vaudeville Vixens. Both she and Hellwards were over there helping to fill out the roster for the Res Dolls in their game. Obviously, still have plenty of energy for their game here against the Quad Squad. Dark Horse through, picks up 8 points thus far, and Jinja Snap finally gets through on that first scoring pass. Dark Horse forced to the out by Hello Sailor is now going to be delivered into the loving, unholy arms of Scarlet Osnaria, Micro Mauler, and Rubarbarian.
Ginger Snap just getting that quad squad pack strung out through the turn there, able to complete a scoring pass and get back around. Now on another scoring pass as Dark Horse finally makes her way out of the pack and back around again.
Quad Squad will lose Alligator to the penalty box on a high block. And Dark Horse is through for 4 more points. Jam is called. Big jam there for the Quad Squad. Got 16-11. Gonna bring the score to Quad Squad 49, Unholy Rollers 84, as a timeout is called for, freezing the clock at 10 minutes and 38 seconds.
We talked about our non-skating officials earlier. I do want to give a shout out to our referees.
Oh, let's do.
Eddie Lizard, Dark Matter, Johnny Zebra, Bjorn to Kill, No Ship, Sherlock, Agru, Cupcake Battering, and Haley Hydra. Cupcake Battering is, you see him there in the blue helmet, is the newest member of UDO 608. All of his appearances here with us thus far this season has been as a guest official. He has recently become a member of United Derby Officials 608. You too can become one of these highly trained officials, whether you want to be on skates or off. If doing paperwork and keeping stats is your jam, non-skating officiating is right up your alley. And if you want to skate around and be judgy, then reffing might be for you. All you need to do is wander over, shoot us off an email at officials@madisonrollerderby.org and ask how you can become a roller derby official.
That's right. UDO 608 is always recruiting, always looking for bodies to not only staff games here in Madison, but you can have the opportunity to go and travel to other tournaments and officiate.
And I would like to point out, 15 seasons, still undefeated.
That's right. UDO 608 has not lost a single game. They are the most successful team in the Midwest.
That's right, Nikki. This takes a lot of work
At a lot of things.
So they are still in the midst of their official timeout, making. So we've got our zebra huddle, a dazzle of zebras.
Very dazzle. Much zebra.
Such great.
Stripe, stripe.
So they're just making sure that all points and penalties have been correctly logged and assessed. Want to make sure the game is all very well documented. So important to do in any game, but especially in a game like this where the stakes are so high.
Indeed.
Quad Squad looking to defend Leggy for the second year in a row since they claimed Leggy that 1 year.
Yes.
As we were saying at the beginning of the game, Unholy Rollers have not taken Leggy home since 2010. So looking to do that for the first time.
Nigh on a decade.
Just about there. They came so close last year with the Quad Squad just barely eking out the win. It'll be very exciting to see how the remainder of this game plays out, Reaver.
You know, one of the big benefits of coming to see roller derby in person is you get to visit a lot of our sponsors in person. So if you get a chance to come to one of our games sometime, you will see the Chocolate Shop Ice Cream Shop here as one of our vendors. And it's lots of ice cream. It's made with lots of tons of rich Wisconsin cream and all kinds of gobs of gooey, tasty goodness. Boatloads of luscious flavor. It's not low fat, it's not low calorie, it's not low anything, and that's why everyone loves it. And you can get it right here and watch Derby at the same time.
What more could you ask for?
Toyota?
Ask
Oh, no,
for-
wait.
I could ask for an
That's if
adult
I could ask for
beverage.
anything more. You could ask for an adult beverage, and you would have many to choose from, but especially you would be able to pick up one of our other fabulous sponsors, PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer,
A longtime sponsor of Madison Roller
a
Derby.
longtime sponsor. So PBR yourself ASAP at a nearby concession or grocery store. What do you have? Pabst
PBR.
Blue Ribbon.
So we do have some conversation happening with our head ref of this game, Eddie Lizard, with the captainship of the Unholy Rollers. So it's possible that one of the possible outcomes of this official timeout is if an egregious penalty was observed or potentially observed in that last jam. So the officials would then need to confer, make sure what every angle saw. And so if something is going to be assessed to the teams, we are now finding out. So information now being sent over to the Quad Squad captainship
You can also check out tables with information about.
We'll bring you any details that we get on this as soon as they are made available. I'm going to take a quick moment here to shout out to another one of the amazing sponsors here at Madison Roller Derby, Lauer Realty Group. In the rink, you need helmets and pads. In the real estate market, you need Lauer Realty Group.
And we want to thank all of you fans for coming out tonight.
And if you do come see us in person and partake of the many adult beverages available, we do want you to get home safely. So make sure that you let Union Cab help you get through the jam. Their professional drivers are trained at getting around any blocks in traffic. Give them a call or download their app today.
So if you missed out on being able to come and see the action here live, there are more opportunities to see Madison Roller Derby at play. In fact, coming up in just at the end of May, it's going to be May 31st to June 2nd. Dairyland Dolls are traveling to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the 10th annual Midwest Brouhaha, hosted by the Brew City Bruisers. So that'll be the next opportunity you have to see some of these skaters out on the track. But we are back into the action, Reaver. Hammer Abby out there jamming for the quad squad. Out first to take lead, Tango de Muerte. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was just changed on a no pass, no penalty. Hammer Abby did not get lead jam. That went to number 22, Tango de Muerte. So for those unfamiliar with a no pass, no penalty, generally what's happening there is if a jammer or a skater in general gets knocked to the inside or to the outside, out of bounds, when that happens, they need to come back in legally behind any skaters that were adjacent to them when they went out. If that skater who knocked them out of bounds goes out of bounds themselves, then the skater is able to come back in. However, since not everyone was passed legally in bounds, they are not eligible to pick up lead jam.
And we now have Shenanigans as lead jammer for the Unholy Rollers in this jam. She is working against kind of Vendetta for the quad squad, who has also just completed her initial pass.
Nice juke around Alligator there by Shenanigans to pick up 4 points in this jam. Kind of Vendetta trying to go on the outside, knocking, I believe that was 423 for the Unholy Rollers. 428, I'm sorry, Polly Avarice knocking her out of position. However, the rest of the wall is able to hold her back. Kenna still working on that initial pass.
As well as playing with Team Unicorn. So, Vendetta now around that outside.
And Kenna Vendetta through on the outside. That completes her first scoring pass. My mistake. So with that, the jam will be called off. Going to be a 4-8 jam in favor of the Unholy Rollers. See Shenanigans coming through on the inside as that juke early in the jam right around Alligator. Nice job there by Alligator. Falling small, make sure she's not going to be an illegal obstacle on the track. It's good to be a legal obstacle on the track, but you can't be in a blocker if you're not upright and inbounds.
That is true.
But we are back into the action in jam number 16. Gertrude Awakening wears the star for the Unholy Rollers. Up against Dark Horse for the quad squad in green. Pack digging in turn one. Micromauler forced to the outside. Gertrude Awakening taking advantage of the confusion, gets through to take lead jam, but Dark Horse hot on her heels.
And we have both jammers coming up on the pack, working to score some points. Both packs playing the defense pretty well, holding the jammers down.
Gertrude Awakening and Dark Horse both stuck.
Gertrude Awakening doing what she can here to break up the wall of Quilla DeVille and Little Mrs. Behaven. Both blockers doing a great job stymieing Gertrude's forward momentum. Now, though, pushed out to the bounds of the engagement zone. Little Mrs. Behaven forced to be the solo blocker for Gertrude, but doing a great chest block here on Ger. Will lose her for a second. Oh, but is forced to let her go as Gertrude Awakening gets outside of that zone of engagement. Beautiful defensive play there by the quad squad, holding back Ger for so long.
Excellent work by Ger to get her hips out in front for just a moment there, even while the shoulders were still engaged. And I think that gave her a little help in breaking the pin that Little Mrs. had on her. It was still another moment or two before she finally fully broke clear, but I would say that hip action definitely did a great job of getting her released out the front there.
Absolutely. Unholy Rollers are going to lose Rue Barbarian to the penalty box on a direction of play penalty. And Dark Horse up at the front of the pack, but is sent off to the penalty box. I missed the call there. Let me check our stats for a moment here.
That is going to be a track cut penalty for Dark Horse.
Wow, and Unholy's keeping a keen eye on what's happening on the track, will immediately call off the jam. This results in a 3-5 jam in favor of the Unholy Rollers, but they are going to get a just about 30-second power jam going into this next jam as Dark Horse is iced in the box.
And we see the penalties up on the board there. Got a couple of skaters for the quad squad with 3 penalties apiece. Nobody on the Unholies with more than 2.
Back into the action on the track. Unholy Rollers are going to send up Ginja Snap for this power jam. A wise choice, as Ginge has been the high-scoring jammer for all of the Unholy's games in this season.
And she takes lead jammer status.
She does.
Meanwhile, Dark Horse is standing in the penalty box, so she is about to re-enter the track, and here she comes as Ginge completes her first scoring pass.
Good offense there being played by Kentucky Fried Carnage, forcing the Unholy blockers to the outside. However, she will pick up a penalty for her troubles, but she did get Dark Horse out as a result, so hashtag might be worth it.
You know, everyone's got to make their own decisions. Ginja Snap working her way through the penalty wall at the front, the blocker wall at the front of the pack. No penalties there.
And Ginge just crashing through the defense of the quad squad. They weren't quite able to form up in time before she slid through. That's going to be 4 more points up for the Unholy Rollers. Dark Horse still working on her second scoring pass of this jam, as we are 1 minute and 30 seconds into the jam. So Pack finally starting to get control over some of these jammers, really slowing down on that second straightaway. One hit Wanda will go off to the penalty box for the Unholy Rollers. And an additional penalty going to Wendy You Wanna Die, sending her to the penalty box. That's going to be a direction penalty. And with that, the jam will come to a conclusion. Big jam for the Unholy Rollers. Biggest of the half, going to be 24 points, bringing their score up to 120. Quad Squad trailing behind at 63. Looks like we are definitely going to have time for a few more jams here in the first half. Hammer Abby there going head-to-head with Tango de Muerte. Tango wasting no time getting up to the front of the pack. Will blow by Tuna Fey. Takes lead jam for the Unholies. Hammer Abby, though, will not be denied through the packer on her own initial pass. Crashing through the Unholy's defense. They will end up holding, slowing her down right at the front of turn 3. Tango up at the front, does take a hit from Tuna Fey, will allow the Quad Squad blockers to get up in front. That's Super Youper, and as well as Booty Collins holding the line there against Tango de Muerte. Got one hit Wanda in the mix, as well as Dive Hard trying to hold back Hammer Abby. Ham almost through, but again, that Unholy wall will end up being able to reform in front of her. So Tango de Muerte out to the Crucible penalty box. I believe, nope, she was just hiding there. I couldn't find her on the track, Reaver. But she does get through, gonna have the jam called off for such a rough jam. That was gonna only be 4 points for each of these teams. Score now, Quad Squad 67, Unholy Rollers 124, as we've got under 2 minutes remaining to play in the first half. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Bear and Bottle, offering locally sourced pub food with innovative artisan cocktails, fine wines, and craft brewed beer. Bear and Bottle fuses West Coast freshness and flavor with Wisconsin tavern friendliness. Stop in for lunch, happy hour, dinner, or cocktails with friends, family, or coworkers today. We are back in the action, Reaver.
We are Rich Mahogany.
We've got Shenanigans out to be lead jammer for the Unholy Rollers. Quilla DeVille out right behind her, though, is going to crash into Butta Boombox, getting her some purchase on the outside, but the Unholy blockers are there to stop her. Quill will break through, though, so may not be lead jammer, but is the jammer in the lead. Picks up 4 points for the Quad Squad.
Shenanigans completing her scoring pass and ending the jam, putting 4 points up for the Unholies. And we're going to have one more jam before we go to halftime. What other fabulous sponsor do we have, Rich Mahogany?
Oh, we've got so many. We've got Laurel Realty Group. Rink rash goes away, unlike buyer's remorse. So make the smart choice. Instead of the smart choice, substitute Smart Pass with Laurel Realty Group.
Laurel Realty. And we now have Pied Piper jamming for the Quad Squad and Gertrude Awakening jamming for the Unholy Rollers in what is almost certainly going to be our last jam for this first half of the Season 15 championship game. Both jammers working to make their way through, and Pied Piper is the successful one, now having taken lead jammer status, as Gertrude Awakening still works to complete her initial pass, getting held up at the front by Little Miss.
It's a great job by Pied Piper, pushing the Unholy Rollers defense to the outside and then taking the open inside lane that she herself created to get through and take that lead jam. Unholies, though, have her well in hand, although a multiplayer block will send the Rue Barbarian to the Crucible penalty box. Gertrude Awakening running up the inside line. Only one blocker to beat now. That's Little Misses.
Once again at the front. Both jammers out of the pack coming around to score more points. We have expired the game clock. So once this jam comes to its natural conclusion, the period will end.
So it looks like we are going to keep this jam rolling. Gertrude Awakening pushing away at the back of the pack, but Rue Barbarian back in the action. Gonna lay a hit out on Little Misses. Gonna allow Gertrude Awakening to break through. That's 4 more points up for the Unholy Rollers. Rue Barbarian doing some great work out there on the track, just barely able to take Pied Piper to the inside right as the jam comes to its natural 2-minute conclusion. See 12 points up for the Quad Squad, winning the jam. 8 points for the Unholy Rollers. As we get into the halftime, our score will be Quad Squad 83, Unholy Rollers 136.
That is exactly twice of what the Quad Squad has.
Well, so is a bit of a point spread here.
Not.
It's close.
Not. I have math.
Math is hard. Math is like literally the worst. But so a very close game here yet, but we're going to find out what happens with the thrilling conclusion of this second half between the Unholy Rollers and the Quad Squad as they fight to take home Leggy, the Leg of Champions. We'll be back soon. Thank you for watching Madison Roller Derby.
My name is Natalie Hinckley, owner of Hinckley Productions. I've been doing videos since I was a kid. Now I've built this video production company, and for the past 10 years, I get to do what I love every single day. We partner with clients to tell their stories, shooting and editing videos for many brand names that you'd recognize and local businesses alike. In short, video spots used online, through social media, and broadcast. The live production division of the business utilizes multi-camera switching, projection, and live streaming. We have 2 studio locations, one in Madison, the other one in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Here we meet with clients, we edit all of our videos, and we also house our production equipment. Now most of our shoots are done on location. We can shoot here or access larger facilities as needed. We have a number of different cameras to work with depending on your job requirements. Everything from a simple GoPro to a high frame rate 4K camera. When you see our van rolling through town, you'll know that we've got all the right tools to get the job done. Hinckley Productions is built upon authenticity, diversity, reliability, and quality. We hope to work with you on your next project.
Madison Roller Derby is a community of strong, independent, amazing people that are not only athletes but also committed volunteers and staff, recreational skaters, competitive interleague skaters, and we have been part of this league and part of this community for now going on 15 years.
It's fun, it's entertaining, it's something that we are really proud to be a part of. I think within that, the love and empowerment that comes from playing this sport is this responsibility to give back to our community and support the growth and success of Madison, which encompasses Madison Roller Derby.
I grew up playing a lot of sports, but never really felt like I entirely belonged or fit in or could be myself, and Derby felt like a place that combined all of the things that I loved socially, being able to be openly queer and kind of punk rock, but also a serious athlete.
There's just an incredible range of personalities, people from different backgrounds, different careers. There's so many connections here with roller derby.
It's just been something where I've been challenged in every single aspect of my life, and it always comes back to Derby teaching me a lesson, teaching me that I can be better.
Every year we get a new crew in, and every year you get to see them experience roller derby, help them learn how to be leaders.
I love that community outreach has always been part of MRD's mission and vision from the beginning, because I think our founders and even now we recognize that we don't exist in a vacuum, and every one of us comes from different parts of the community.
We're a part of Madison and we live here. We are parents, we are neighbors, we're students. It's important that we recognize that and make sure that we are giving back as much as we are getting from the community that surrounds us.
Over the past 15 years, we've donated over $80,000 to nonprofits and have spent thousands of hours working in Madison communities and other Wisconsin nonprofits in the area.
We're building an army of amazing people that want to do more for the community, and every year we grow. We're trying to grow along with Madison in a positive way.
Right now, Madison Roller Derby really needs your help to continue rolling forward. Our mission is very important to us, and we hope to continue that long into the future. But right now, we need a new home for both our growth and our current membership.
Having a building of our own means we can create a much better fan experience, because we hope to not only have our practices there, but hopefully also host games. We can host more games, different kinds of games. We can bring in more community partners. We can even bring in other community organizations that fit our mission and the space that we have and provide that as a community resource.
If we lost roller derby as an organization in the sport and an opportunity for women, that would be a huge detriment.
We need to raise $500,000, and I know that sounds like a lot of money, but with your help and the community's help, I think that we can get it done. You can become a sustaining member, you can share this video, you can make a larger sum donation. We support all of those options.
We want to continue to grow our mission of being this empowering, inclusive space for people of all identities and backgrounds. So we are now turning to the community and asking humbly for your financial support to help make this thing happen.
Welcome back, friends. We are here to get into the second half of the championship game here at the 15th season for Madison Roller Derby. Quad Squad taking on the Unholy Rollers. And it's for all the marbles, friends. And this right here is all the marbles.
Dun, dun, dun.
Leggy, the leg of champions. Quad Squad have taken Leggy home the last 3 years running. If they take it home for the fourth, that will be a Madison Roller Derby record, 4 wins in a row. However, Unholy Rollers are on a tear. They're not going to make it easy for the Quad Squad. Unholies haven't taken Leggy home since 2010, and they've been hungry for it for years.
Nigh on a decade.
This may well be their year.
It may be.
As we get into the second half, we've got the Quad Squad trailing at 83 to the Unholies 136. Taking a look at some of the jammer stats, Ginger Snap with a 100 lead percentage has picked up lead all 5 times she's gone out to skate and has picked up the lion's share of the Unholies points with 79. Second high-scoring jammer for the Unholies is Tango de Muerte with 23 points and a 75% lead percentage. Over on the side of the quad squad, high-scoring jammer is Dark Horse with 34, picking up lead 20% of the time, followed by Hammer Abbey, picks up 16 points, lead 60% of the time. Taking a look at the penalties, nobody in any penalty danger here. Has been a relatively clean game thus far. For the Unholy Rollers, nobody has more than 2 penalties, and there are only 2 skaters on the quad squad that have 3. You can see penalties. We got 16 for the quad squad, 11 for the Unholies. And we're into it, Reaver. First whistle of the first jam of the second half has signaled Ginger Snap out to take lead jam for the Unholy Rollers.
She is jamming against Kenny Vendetta, number 9 for the quad squad, who has completed her initial pass. Ginger Snap, meanwhile, about to score a few points for the Unholies, breaks through the pack and puts up 4. Kenny Vendetta getting held up at the back, knocked to the outside, and must recycle behind Hell Woods.
Quad squad taking a position up at the front of the pack, trying to guard that inside line. However, Ginger Snap going to fire right through there. 4 points, Unholies.
Unholy Rollers holding back Kenna Vendetta.
Kenna Vendetta trying to ride in the wake of Ginger Snap as she came through there. She will end up breaking through. That's going to be 4 points quad squad as Ginger Snap is held up in the pack.
Ginger finally through. 4 more points for the Unholies. Kenna getting knocked to the inside as she's back on another scoring pass. Once again being recycled to the back of the pack. And Ginger Snap off to the Crucible penalty box. On a back block, it looks like.
So Kenna Vendetta on the power jam here. Now picking up 4 more points, so thus far 8 points. Pied Piper trying to play some offense on the inside, but we've got Hell Woods and Goldman Smacks up at the front there, holding back Kenna. Woody will end up forcing Kenna Vendetta into the inside and forces to recycle.
Ginger Snap back from the penalty box, does work her way through quickly on the inside, putting up 4 more points for the Unholies. Kenna getting out, completing another scoring pass for the quad squad. And that jam comes to its 2-minute conclusion. 12 points for the quad squad, bringing them to 95. 16 bringing the Unholies to 152.
We're gonna line up quickly here for jam number 2. Do have a single blocker in the box for the Unholy Rollers quad squad at full strength. And we are going to see Tango de Muerte lining up for the Unholies, taking a running start at the pack as Dark Horse starts right on the jammer line for the quad squad. Oh, Tango de Muerte taken to the outside by Dr. Mickey Barrage. Shout out to Mickey having just completed her doctorate. A great achievement as she's in the midst of her rookie season here with the quad squad as well. And it's Dark Horse through to take lead jam. I don't know. It must be the magic of that shiny skirt.
It must
that
be.
lets her bend time to her will, allowing her to not only skate at high-level roller derby, but complete her doctorate.
Maybe her doctorate was in roller derby. That way you can double up on tasks and activities.
Oh, I completed that requirement by crushing the opposition the other weekend. So Mickey up at the front with KFC, now being joined by Lex, holding back Tango de Muerte. Tango is able to throw things out. Oh, and Nikki picks up an out-of-play block penalty. Will send her to the Crucible penalty box. So Tango de Muerte through, going to be threatening to score points. Dark Horse going to call off the jam just in time. 0 points up for the Unholy Rollers. Quad Squad picks up all 4 points, bringing them to 99 points.
And we still have 5/6 of the game to go.
We've got a lot of roller derby left to happen in front of us here. We've got 53 points separating these two teams. Quad Squad has a climb ahead of them, but not something they have not come back from in the past. We'll see what Hammer Abbey can do as she takes the line against Shenanigans. Guns working her way up to the front of the pack in a bit of a scrum start here. taken to the outside by Sequin Destroy Her.
Meanwhile, Shenanigans up the front of the pack, jamming for the Unholy Rollers, still being held back by a very strong quad squad pack as Hammer Abby takes lead jammer status.
Well, Ham just wants to skate with somebody, get lead on somebody to jam with. Oh, a track cut penalty assessed to Shenanigans. So this is now a power jam for the quad squad. Fantastic opportunity here. Ham gonna start putting some speed on as we approach the pack in turn 3.
And there you see the Crucible penalty box with Shenanigans sitting just as Hello Sailor returns to the track. Meanwhile, Hammer Abby sneaking her way through the pack.
Oh,
Slick like butter.
Sailor positioning herself very wisely at the back of the pack there. She's separated from the rest of her team, but she was able to receive Hammer Abby as she came crashing into turn 4. Ham does get around, but it slowed her up enough. And when your opponent is on a power jam, any seconds you can buy help. Shenanigans is now back on the track and has completed her initial pass. Hammer Abby, though, has made great use of this power jam, crashing through the unholy wall. Will pick up 4 more points. Big jam for the quad squad. 16 points on that jam, unanswered by the Unholy Rollers.
Amazing. One of the things I remember from games this season is the quad squad tending to be relaxed at the start, maybe let the other team get out in front for a bit.
Absolutely.
And then coming back and crushing hopes and dreams.
Quad Squad has been doing a great job of playing their game all season long. When it looks like they may not pull it out, they've been doing a good job of pulling it back. Back to the action on the track. Gertrude Awakening jamming for the Unholies in red up against Quilla DeVille for the Quad Squad in green.
And we've got a rough wall up there at the front, holding back Gurr, but Quilla DeVille has made it through to get lead jammer status, and Gurr is headed to the Crucible penalty box on a track cut.
Oh, another fantastic opportunity here for the Quad Squad. Quill up at the front of the pack, but the Unholy blockers have nothing to do but make her day hard. They're doing a great job at that there. We've got Hellwood's Rubarbarian in there as well as Goldman Smacks. Oh, Rubarbarian.
Oh, nice hit by Rubarbarian, taking Quilla DeVille to the inside.
Oh, now Kenna Vendetta working some offense in there, but Rubarbarian once again has Quilla DeVille's number. Says, no, you cannot have my puppies. I don't care how gorgeous that coat will be. The
puppies.
All right, we're going to take a quick moment here. We'll be back in the action post-haste. Thank you for watching Madison Roller Derby. Welcome back, friends. We are in the first 8 minutes of the second half of the championship game here between the Unholy Rollers and the Quad Squad. We've got a great game on our hands here, Reaver.
And I've been thinking about nothing but puppies since before that commercial break. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Quilla DeVille, you know, like the puppies are the points. She's trying to steal points. That's the joke.
It's true.
Back on the action on the track. Pied Typer wears the star for the Quad Squad against Ginja Snap for the Unholies. Ginge tearing apart the Quad Squad defense, will get through to take lead jam. So Pied Typer still working on the initial as the pack picks up speed. Oh, it looks like we're going to settle in around turn 3. Nope, moving around as Ginge is pushing up the pack speed. Pied Typer fires out, completing the initial pass. And Ginja Snap picks up the first 4 points of the jam.
Pied Typer coming in on her first scoring pass, getting held up at the back by the Unholies pack. Meanwhile, Ginja Snap past the Unholies portion of the pack, working to fight past the Quad Squad blockers. And Pied Typer escapes the pack, putting 4 points up for the Quad Squad.
So Alligator with a nice recycle on Ginja Snap. Still gets in front of her as she tries to take the inside line, delivers her right into the rest of the Quad Squad blockers. Alligator doing some fantastic work on Gertrude Awake, or on Ginja Snap. So now, not to be outdone, one-hit Wanda taking Pied Piper to the outside. Alligator going to try to play a little bit of offense on Wanda. However, Wanda stays her ground. And both of these jammers are really getting stuck in around the turn 1-2 apex here.
Indeed, Rich Mahogany.
So Jam winding down here, has gone almost the full 2 minutes. Ginge still with the power to call this off, but is content to let it roll.
And the jam comes to an end.
So it looks like Quad Squad did end up picking up 8 points. Unholy's held down to 6, so Quad Squad winning the jam. We've got Ginger Snap there forcing her way through on the inside. So Quad Squad starting to close up this score gap now. Only 31 points separate these teams as we line up for jam number 6.
Looks like we're going to have Tango de Muerte jamming for the Unholy Rollers up against Kenna Vendetta taking lead jammer status for the Quad Squad.
Tango de Muerte up at the front, only one to beat, will get by KFC. And she's through, has completed that initial pass.
Kenna back in the pack, but getting stymied by the Unholy's blockers. Meanwhile, Tango makes her way, zips right through, and completes the scoring pass.
So Kenna Vendetta is going to call off the jam here. We'll see how many points she got on that jam, or on that pass rather. It looks like 3, so didn't quite pick up that 4th point. So Unholy's stealing the win on that jam.
Rich, I want to give a shout out to Cooper's Tavern.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
I don't know if you've been there or not, but it's a lovely location.
Tell me more.
They are downtown. If you need to fill up before a bout, whether you need some liquid courage or a cozy place to recoup, the Cooper's Tavern has you covered. Named Madison's best restaurant, open 7 days a week.
Delicious. Getting back to the delicious action here on the track. Shenanigans jamming for the Unholy Rollers. Does force her way up to the front of the pack. Breaks through that Quad Squad wall to take lead jammer. Dark Horse now jamming for the Quad Squad. Cuts to the inside around Hellwoods. Completes the initial pass. Quad Squad trying to lock down in front of Shenanigans, but Guns is going to force her way through. Seek and Destroy Her will go to the penalty box on an out-of-play penalty.
There is a very limited number of things you can do when you are out of play, that being limited to return to play. And so...
Cannot block.
Cannot block, cannot assist, cannot do anything but return to play.
No shenaniganery unless that shenaniganery is coming back to the track for your shenaniganery. So Quad Squad are going to use their first time out of the game to stop the clock.
Well, I want to say thank you to Saturn's 8.
Good call.
One of the things you miss by not coming and seeing us in person is the great DJ action that Andrew Larson puts out, providing soundtracks for the people of Madison with retro flair and modern edge. That is Saturn's 8, providing music for us here at our bouts all season long.
Got some incredibly handsome folks manning the cameras here for Hinckley Design and Production. Big shout out to them for recording and broadcasting all of Madison Roller Derby's games. Thank you so much to them. Rolling with Derby since 2008, giving us award-winning commercial video productions and live streaming that knock you on your ass. There we see Jack Skellington, the mascot of the Unholy Rollers, driving the Unholy Force onward, saying, win, claim Leggy, bring Leggy to the dark side.
Please, I need a leg to put my femur, tibia, and, well, specifically tibia and fibula in, and talus, and malleolus, and
So that team timeout has come to its end. However, now we are rolling into an official timeout.
Tarsals and metatarsals.
To donate on our website, you'll also find that there are going to be some great
I
That's it. I'm done.
You are just skeletons of fun, Reaver.
The foot bone connected to the ankle bone. That's where we're going from here.
Ostensibly, the foot bone is connected to the head bone by many other bones.
Sometimes things aren't connected together if you tear your ligaments. Fun fact.
Ooh.
But we don't need to hear about my derby career.
No, let's get into the fun on the track. Gertrude Awakening up at the front of the pack, being blocked by the sole blocker of Quilla DeVille. Quill doing a good job of holding things down. Little Misses bridging out, allowing Quill to keep doing that work. Hammer Abby wears the star for the quad squad, trying to push through on the inside, but the Unholy Wall holds strong.
And Gertrude Awakening out first for lead jammer status. Meanwhile, we've got Quilla DeVille headed to the penalty box.
Quill hanging on a little too long with that block. Did end up getting that blocking out of play penalty. Oh, Hammer Abby almost free on the inside, but falls right into one-hit Wanda's trap. Wanda was waiting for her, forces her to the infield. Now, Ham does end up juking by. She's through at the front. Oh, but down on the ground. And enough time given to the Unholy Blockers to get up in front of her in turn one. Quilla DeVille back in action, crashing into Hellfire Warrior. Going to open up the wall for Hammer Abby. Well played offense there. Ham now through for 4 points.
And Gurr is going to end the jam, putting up an additional 4 points, bringing the Unholies to 8 for this jam. Our total is now 138. Quad Squad 174 Unholies, and we will be back with you in just a moment.
Welcome back. We are in the final 15 minutes of this championship game for season 15 of Madison Roller Derby. We've got the Quad Squad going up against the Unholy Rollers. Unholies are in the lead, but the Quad Squad are starting to close up the gap. We've got the Unholies at 174, Quad Squad trailing behind at 138. Jinja Snap wears the star for the Unholies, being recycled there by Alligator. Pied Typer wears the star for the Quad Squad.
Jinja Snap through the pack, taking lead jammer status for the Unholies. Pied Typer also completing her initial pass. And Jinja starts scoring points. The pack is at a distinct Unholies advantage. There are currently 2 blockers on the track for the Quad Squad against all 4 of the Unholy Rollers blockers. That's making it very, very easy for Jinja Snap to just zip right through and rack up those points. And we have Sequin Destroyer now returning from the Crucible penalty box, bringing the Quad Squad up to 3 blockers. Unfortunately, it looks like Tuna Fey has taken her place.
That's right, it was a direction of play penalty that sends Tuna to the box. We do have Pied Typer breaking through, picking up some points here. Ginge picking up a few more thus far. Cuts to the outside, now going to be gone into the wall of Sequin Destroyer and Elf.
And now just Sequin Destroyer as Elf drops off to maintain the pack. And Ginge through for 4 more points.
Sequin Destroyer, just such a mainstay of the Quad Squad's blocking core, does so much good work year after year. And you know what, Reaver? This is going to be her last game with the Quad Squad.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
That's right. So we're going to see what, there's a great opportunity here for to put all of her skills on showcase. There are actually quite a few skaters and officials for whom this is going to be their final game here with Madison Roller Derby. Alligator, another one of those skaters who's retiring from skating after this game.
And you know, when officials retire, we need more officials to take their place.
It's true.
So, if you would like to join the ranks of United Derby Officials Local 608, just send us an email at officials@madisonrollerderby.org. Join this highly trained, excellent crew of individuals. Paperwork is your thing, if you like stats, if you're a geek, if you're a nerd, if you like skating and being judgy at the same time, officiating might be for you.
Now a big jam there for the Unholy Rollers. 24 points to the Quad Squad's 8. Getting into this next jam, Tango de Muerte jamming, but Kenna Vendetta out first to take lead jam for the Quad Squad. Tango forced to the inside, recycling back behind Little Misses and Kentucky Fried Carnage as Kenna Vendetta is through on the outside, picks up 4 more points. Quad Squad doing a great job of recycling Tango here. Tango still working on the initial pass as Kenna Vendetta through on the outside for 4 more points. Oh, Little Misses up at the front of the pack. Was going to be the last line of defense against Tango, but took a little tumble.
She found the gravity well we set up. We put those out there occasionally in various spots around the track just to keep the players on their toes. And it looks like we've got kind of Vendetta going to the Crucible penalty box on an out-of-play penalty. Fun fact, when you're the jammer, you yourself are not out of play. However, if there are other skaters who are out of play around you, you're not allowed to engage them. So if a blocker is out of play and you go after them to get them out of your way, that can be a no-no.
Thank you very much for the explanation, Reaver. Making us all smarter for watching roller derby. Tango de Muerte, trying to work her way through the pack, is forced to the outside by Little Misses and Tucky. Kenna Vendetta back on the track. Nice spin move to the inside to get around Hell Woods. Picks up 4 points for Kenna Vendetta. Kenna Vendetta crashing into the wall of the Unholies, who are well prepared for her. They barely budge an inch when she collides with the back there. Jam will be called. Another big jam for the Quad Squad, 12-6. Will bring the score to Quad Squad 158, Unholy Rollers 204.
We've got about 10.5 minutes left in the game. Here's a look at our penalties. 21 penalties for the Unholy Rollers, 28 for the Quad Squad. Nobody in dire penalty trouble. Again, they foul out at 7 penalties. We've got a couple of people on the Quad Squad with 5.
That's going to be Alligator and Sequin Destroyer towing that line. And Shenanigans out to take lead jam for the Unholies. Quilla DeVille jamming for the Quad Squad, still working on the initial. And Guns is through on the inside. 4 points for the Unholy Rollers.
Quill is still trying to get through the pack and complete her initial pass.
Quad Squad taking the opportunity to try and play a little bit of offense for Quill. However, they're going to have to break off quickly to be ready for Guns here, and they do so. However, Guns still able to out-juke that wall, gets through for 4 points.
And it looks like Quilla, has removed her helmet cover. Looks like she's thinking about passing the star to her pivot.
But no, she keeps that star as she breaks through the pack. With that, Quill has completed her initial pass, is now eligible to score points. Looks like the Unholies are going to let this one to keep going. And we've got the first completed Ian's Pizza Star Pass of this game. Number 7, When Do You Wanna Die, now becoming the jammer of record for the Quad Squad. However, right at the last moment is reabsorbed into the pack. So now trying to work her way by One Hit Wanda.
Meanwhile, Shenanigans is knocked to the infield at the front by Mickey Barrage, but Mickey herself goes down, then gets back up, then hits Guns again and goes to the box for an out-of-play penalty. Action upon action. And Guns through the pack once again. That's a 20-point pass so far for the Unholy Rollers as the jam comes to an end. 2 points up for the Quad Squad.
As you said, Reaver, a big jam here for the Unholies. An instant replay here of Quill trying to break through that wall, and out of nowhere from the back, it's Shenanigans. But picking up a grand total of 20 points that jam. Unholies pulling away Score now stands at 160 to 224 in favor of the Unholy Rollers. And we are rolling into a timeout, Reaver.
And it looks like we're going to have an official review called by the Unholy Rollers. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Welcome back, folks. We are in the final minutes of the final game of the 15th season for Madison Roller Derby. This is the Quad Squad taking on the Unholy Rollers for Leggy, the Leggy champions.
Now, it was mentioned by someone earlier that with Leggy just sort of sitting here, someone could maybe sneak up behind and take. I would like to point out that even when the camera is not broadcasting, it is still recording. Leggy is perfectly safe right here.
It's okay.
We'll take care of her.
We'll never let anything happen to you, Leggy.
Nothing, Leggy. Got me.
So we are still in the midst of this official review called for by the Unholy Rollers. We'll bring you the details of this as soon as we are made aware of them. But so the Quad Squad still have their official review and 2 team timeouts remaining at their disposal. Unholy Rollers with all 3 of their team timeouts.
That's right. We want to also thank Ian's Pizza.
And we want to give a big shout out to Jim's Coins in Hilldale. Cash in today. You'll get top prices for coins, jewelry, and more. Jim's Coins in Hilldale. Jim's Coins in Hilldale. Jim's Coins in Hilldale. And I also want to give a shout out to WORT 89.9 FM, listener-sponsored community radio in Madison. Tune in any time of the day or night to hear great alternative music, news, and public affairs programming. Schedule, live streaming, podcasts, and program archives are all available at WORTFM.org.
Yeah. So, while we are winding down to the home season of Madison Roller Derby, fear not, friends. There are still opportunities to see Madison Roller Derby skaters out there all over the country. We are going to have the Dairyland Dolls traveling to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the 10th annual Midwest Brouhaha, May 31st to June 2nd, hosted by the Brew City Bruisers. And we'll tell you more about some of the upcoming events. But first, back into the action.
We have Dark Horse jamming and earning lead jammer status for the Quad Squad. Gertrude Awakening is jamming for the Unholy Rollers and was about to complete her initial pass when she was tumbled to the outside. It just makes me think of Culture Club. I tumble for you.
Gertrude Awakening, another one of those skaters who has been with Madison Roller Derby for a very long time, and as excited as we are for her to go on to newer, bigger, and better things, she is skating in her last game with the Unholies this evening.
And Ger knocked to the inside, has to recycle as Dark Horse comes around for another scoring pass.
That's right, and I think she was being blocked to the inside as Dark Horse was trying to go.
Nikki Barrage in there playing some offense for Dark Horse, trying to hold up the Rue Barbarian. They all will get pushed past the zone of engagement, have to let Dark Horse go. That's 4 points up for the Quad Squad.
Meanwhile, Gertrude Awakening is almost out the front, gets past Nikki Barrage, and puts up 4 points for the Unholy Rollers.
Rue Barbarian picks up a direction of play penalty, sending her to the Crucible penalty box. So Unholy Rollers now at a bit of a diminished pack strength as the jam is called. Another strong jam here for the Quad Squad, 12-4. We'll bring the score to Quad Squad 172, Unholy Rollers 228, with just under 6 minutes remaining to play. So, after the Dairyland Dolls go to Milwaukee to play in the Midwest Brouhaha, they will be traveling to Denver, Colorado for Besterns 2019. This is going to be running June 7th to June 9th and is hosted by the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. That same weekend, the Dairyland Dolls B team are going to St. Paul, Minnesota for the Have a Minnesota Nice Day tournament hosted by the Minnesota Roller Girls.
And we are now in a team timeout taken by the Unholy Rollers. Or as we like to call them here in the roller derby world, dance break.
Oh yeah. the battle doesn't just happen between the whistles. Sometimes you gotta dance off on the jammer line.
Sometimes you gotta take a dance break. And it's nice because, you know, that lets the referees take a pause and rehydrate.
Mhm.
It's good to take care of your officiating crew.
It's important to wet your whistle.
It is. It is, especially your Fox 40, which miraculously works even while underwater.
Oh my, you know, I have 2 of those whistles and I've never tried that. I know what I'm doing when I get home. I am filling up the bathtub and I am going to blow some whistles.
No, that's what we used when I was oceanfront lifeguarding back in my younger, more East Coaster days.
Welcome to the Midwestern days.
Yeah.
I hope that these are the finest years of your life, Reaver. To date. I hope that the finest years of your life are ahead of you yet.
The water is much less salty. It just doesn't, it's not for me.
We are back into the action on the track. Jinja Snap jamming for the Unholies, cutting to the outside, will take lead jam. Ham working on that initial pass, will get through. So both jammers now eligible to score points. Ginge crashing through the pack does end up getting held up at the front by Kentucky Fried Carnage and Tuna Fey. And Ham takes advantage to come through and take the lead. Track cut penalty assessed to Jinja Snap. Gives a power jam to the Quad Squad.
Let's see if they can capitalize on this and close that point differential.
30 seconds now, uncontested to score for the Quad Squad. Unholy Rollers, though, defense holding firm. Tuna Fey in there playing some offense. However, Hello Sailor with a big hit on Hammer Abbey to the outside will force her to recycle back into turn 4.
Meanwhile, Jinja Snap is released from the Crucible penalty box, comes back onto the track and makes her way lickety-split up around Tuna Fey. KFC takes her to the outside and recycles her back. Meanwhile, Hammer Abbey through the pack out the front, putting up 4 more points.
So good job there by Unholy Rollers holding the line while Ginge was in the penalty box. Only 8 points put up by Hammer Abbey. Now Ginge answering with 4 of her own, looking to make it an even 8, but is knocked to the inside by KFC.
And only Dark Horse left to get past, and, KFC left to get past, and Jinja Snap gets past her. And it looks like we've got Hammer Abbey going to the Crucible penalty box on a track cut of her own.
Wow, unfortunate timing there for the Quad Squad. Hammer Abbey taking a seat just as the jam clock times out. So she'll be serving about 28 to 30 seconds to start this jam.
And it looks like we are going to have Tango de Muerte jamming for the Unholy Rollers on this power jam.
Quad Squad also missing a blocker to the box while the Unholies are at full strength. It's a good position for the Unholies to be in as we enter the last 3 minutes of this game. Tango de Muerte through to take lead jam. Unholy's doing a great job holding back Alligator, not allowing her to get in that wall, allowing Tango de Muerte an easier time getting around on the outside.
Tango telling her, giving some instructions to her pack and getting through, but a little resistance from Little Misses at the front. That will be a no pass, no penalty, however. So only 3 points on that pass for Tango de Muerte. And meanwhile, we have had an Ian's Pizza Star pass. Lil Misses is now the jammer for the Quad Squad.
Little Misses coming out of retirement for this one game to help fill out the Quad Squad's roster. She's been helping on the bench all season long, but now donning her skates, putting on the star, scoring points for the Quad Squad. So that jam will be called. 4 points up for the Quad Squad, a total of 9 for the Unholy Rollers. We've got just under 2 minutes remaining to play. Things are quite close here. It's going to be rough for the Quad Squad to close this gap in the remaining 1 minute and 40 seconds. However, I believe it's possible, Reaver.
All right, Rich Mahogany, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe it's possible. It's going to be hard.
It would be terribly difficult.
Well, shenanigans on the line against Dark Horse. It will have to see the biggest jam we've seen of the game. Dark Horse makes her way up to the front of the pack, does get lead.
I would like to point out that it's 60-point differential in 90 seconds of gameplay. Rich Mahogany believes, ladies and gentlemen, and others, everyone out there, that it is possible to score 1 point every second and a half in roller derby.
Well, you pass 4 people per pass.
I really don't want to know what the 27 and 5 time, that would be like what, 27 and 2? Is how fast you'd have to be skating to pull that off.
I can't do the math right now.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
So these packs really digging in on the first straightaway, but Dark Horse popping out, picks up 4 more points. Shenanigans still working on the initial. Direction of play penalty being called on Super Youper.
All I know, Rich Mahogany, is I don't want to be that Jammer's Jam ref, ever.
So that jam will be called 8-3 in favor of the Quad Squad, and the Quad Squad are going to use a team timeout to freeze the clock at 20 seconds remaining.
Have we had a timeout called here? We do have a timeout called by.
Well, then let's do another shout out.
Oh, let's do
a shout out to Super Duper. Super quick printing of posters, handbills, and flyers. Whatever you need printed. Super friendly service, conveniently located on Madison's East Side, Facebook, and the web at superduper.net. By the way, no U's, just a whole bunch of O's. SOOPERDOOPER.net. For those of you who have spent a lot of time in central Pennsylvania, yes, just like the Super Duper Looper at Hershey Park.
It's super duper.
Yeah, there, hey.
So, Quad Squad's team timeout has wrapped up. Tuna Fey running on the track to take some quick hugs. Hugs all around for the Quad Squad as we line up for what will be the final jam of this contest. Gertrude Awakening takes the line up against Pied Typer. Both of these jammers will be retiring after this jam. Fantastic time to see them. In fact, I think everybody on the Quad Squad right now is going to be retiring after this jam.
I think they might have done a little strategery there.
Oh, that's so, the love. The hug makes so much more sense now, Reaver. Oh, my heart. So the period clock has expired. We are on the jam clock. Lead jam is still open. Gertrude Awakening pushing away against Sequin Destroyer and Alligator.
And Pied Typer has gone to the Crucible penalty box.
That's right, Pied picks up a track cut penalty, which will actually be her first penalty of the night.
And now she returns, ready for some roller derby action. One fierce pre-retirement battle.
Oh, Pied Typer almost through on the inside. Is going to be taken down. Gertrude is still able to take lead jam here, but the Quad Squad defense is tenacious. Not going to let her any daylight that they can afford. A minute and a half into this jam. Lead jam has not yet been declared. However, now in from behind, Rue Barbarian going to open up the inside. Gertrude Awakening takes lead jam and calls the jam.
What a wonderful conclusion. And your champions for the 2019 season, which happens to be the 15th season of Madison Roller Derby. Your champions are the Unholy Rollers.
Unholy Rollers taking a well-deserved win. They have performed absolutely amazingly all season long, going through undefeated in the Madison Roller Derby 15th season to now claim their second championship. What a story, Reaver.
Excellent.
There they are taking their victory huddle. And now off to take their victory lap. Or at least will be after the hugs and happiness. Oh, got such a hard-fought season, a hard-fought game, well defended there by the Quad Squad, putting up a brilliant fight. But in the end, it's the Unholy Rollers who are going to be bringing Leggy McLeggerson, the leg of champions, home to the dark side.
The leg of the leg.
Well, that will just about do it for us here on the broadcast and for Madison Roller Derby's 15th season. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's been a phenomenal season. Make sure you keep following Madison Roller Derby and the Dairyland Dolls as we enter into the postseason. As we trade, yes, we're going to have them vying for position, ranking over the entire world.
May 31st to June 2nd, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 33 games over 3 days. Midwest Brouhaha. Dairyland Dolls will be there. Come see it.
Well, once again, thank you all so much for going on this journey throughout the season, throughout the evening with us. I'm Rich Mahogany.
And I'm the Graham Reaver.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Welcome back, friends. I am here with Ginger Snap at the conclusion of the Season 15 championships. Unholy Rollers taking the win for the first time since 2010. Ginge, congratulations. How are you feeling?
I mean, excited, amazed, overwhelmed, ecstatic. I don't know, a lot of really good, positive feelings.
Good. Oh, well, it's been an amazing journey all season long. Y'all have been amazing, remained undefeated this season. I'm not even sure when the last time that happened. There were the championship team, won somebody out there knows. Tell us. And the Quad Squad have deactivated behind us. So, y'all were so dominant this season. What kind of things did you apply in training and take to the track that helped bring you to this point?
Yeah, we were lucky. We had exactly the same roster pretty much as the year before. So all vets, all were used to playing with each other, and there's certainly some advantages for that. We switched up our strategy, so as you probably noticed, running really long jams, letting our jammers kind of rack up those points because our D was holding them, and we were fortunate enough to be able to do that and have really great offense to help us through. So, really strong team effort, just focusing on, locking down their jammer and helping our own.
Well, it's fantastically done. So happy to see you guys finally bringing Leggy home again after 9 years. So now, obviously, we're all going to go hang out at the after party after this. But so tomorrow, what do the Unholy Rollers do?
We always do brunch. We have two factions, actually. We have the people that like early brunch and the people that like late. So we usually compromise about 10 a.m. But yeah, we'll probably all eat brunch. Even though we didn't win ice cream this time, probably go get some ice cream anyway. But yeah, relax, enjoy, and figure out the schedule for Leggy.
Oh. Well, again, congratulations. It was just such a pleasure following you all through this whole season. So big win for the Unholy Rollers. Thank you all for joining us this season at Madison Roller Derby. I'm Rich Mahogany. We can see the Dairyland Dolls taking on the rest of the world through the postseason. Keep track of them. But this will be it for Season 15. Thank you all for joining us.